Hi, welcome guys, Thank you for joining in. Can you all please confirm if you can see the screen? I'm going to share the screen now. I need everyone to confirm if you can all see the screen. I'm just gonna look at your comments. Hi, welcome guys, Thank you for joining in. Can you all please confirm if you can see the screen? Guys, please confirm if you can hear me now, so we can start with the lesson. Please confirm if you can hear me. Guys, I don't see your comments. Can you see the screen? Yes or no? Yes. Let me write something now on the screen. Let me put something on the screen. Then you guys can tell me if you can see the screen. Okay, can you all see the screen? Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Evanly. Thank you. Everyone can see the screen. Everyone can hear me. Massive thanks. Let's move, guys. We're going to learn. We're going to learn identities. So, but we're going to discuss some of the things that you need to understand on identities. But I won't go into too much. Details. But what I'm going to give you for now, these are some of the things that you already know from the previous grade, which is grade 10, grade 11. So in grade 11, you guys talk about what we call the identities, where we had the sine squared of theta. So let me quickly write this properly. We said we have the sine squared of x. We add the cos squared of x. And we said that this identity is equals to 1, if you still remember. Okay, so the second identity that you did in grade 11 was that the tan of theta, we can substitute that as the sine x over the cos x. Yes, we are definitely recording in Tombizota. We are definitely recording. You guys can watch this later on. We are definitely recording this. Don't worry, we are definitely recording this. So now, and then when you understand these two identities, the other identity that you guys still talk about, remember these are some of the things that you did in your you have them on your textbook. So each and every time we work on a question, we'll go back and refer to what? We'll go back and refer to these identities. Don't worry, I'll keep on giving you the identity. So the first problem that we're going to work on today, it's that, let's say we're going to prove the following identity. So a quick tip that I can give you now, please make sure that in order for you to be able to prove identities, make sure that you understand how to simplify them first. Make sure you understand how to simplify identities now. This will be the cos of 2x. Then we add 15 the sine x plus 7, and everything is divided by the sine 2x plus the cos x, and let's equate this to 8 over the tan x minus not tan x, the cos x minus tan x. Okay, so this will be the cos x, we minus the tan x. Look at this problem. Look at this problem. We need to prove that left hand side is equals to right hand side. We need to prove that left hand side is equals to right hand side. So the best thing that we can do here is to choose the most important, is to choose the most difficult sides. Né? So that's the question A. Remember, we're working on level 3 and 4 questions. The questions that you need to expect in an exam. The next question says, for which values of x is x, for which values of x in the boundary minus 180 degrees and 180, they say is the identity undefined. Right. Please make sure that you take notes now. Make sure that you take notes. I'm going to move with you guys step by step. We're going to work on this step by step, and I'll try to move slow now. I promise to move slow on this question. So if you're working on the question, so this is the given question. Let us check between these two questions, which one is the most, the first one, prove the identity, which one has the most complicated side, the left hand side or the right hand side. I need to see comments, guys. Which one has the most complicated side, the left hand side or the right hand side? Which side should we work on? I need to see your comments. I need to see the comments. Left hand side or right hand side? Which side is most complicated one? Right hand side, in Tomizota is saying the right hand side is the most complicated. Right hand side. Left hand side. Muleboring right hand side. Shuri left hand side. Left hand side. Left side. Mr. Bladwa, we tap on left side. Mbau left side, pretty left hand side. Guys, Vusi, those who said left hand side, guys, you are 100% correct. Né? The left hand side is the one that is most complicated, and we work on that. We need to prove that left hand side. So this is my left hand side, this is my right hand side. So the left hand side is the one that is most complicated. Né? So I need to rewrite this problem. Remember, we are given the cos of 2x plus 15 the sine x, and this we add 7, everything is divided by the sine 2x plus the cos x. So look at this. This is my left hand side. I need to prove my left hand side. What I need you to ask yourself is that, what do you see? Ask yourself, what do you see in front or after ask yourself, what do you see in front or after what? Or after the cos 2x, what do you see? Right. So now look at this top part. You see this cos 2x. The cos 2x, guys, I'm going to write the identity of cos 2x. We're going to put it down. Remember, the cos 2x, the identity that we can use is the cos squared x minus the sine squared x. That's the first one, which is also equal to 1 minus 2 the sine squared x, and it's also equal to 2 the cos squared x minus 1. So the challenge when we solve this type of questions is to know when to use one of these identities. It's very important that you understand when do we use one of these identities. So now, what you're going to do, you're going to ask yourself, what do you see in front or after the cos 2x? In front or after? Let's see. We see sine. So after cos 2x, we see sine x. So if you see sine x, you're going to look the identity that has only sine x. Then that's the identity that you need to use. That's how you check. That's how you choose the identity. So this identity here is the one that we're going to substitute the cos 2x with. This is how you choose which identity to use. You ask yourself, what do you see before or after the cos 2x? If you see sine x, what do we see? We see the sine x. So we're going to substitute the identity that has only sine x. So if you see cos x, this is the identity that you can use. Okay? And then if you see this one, we use this one if we see the sine x. We use this identity if we see the cos x. We use this identity if we see sine x, that is multiplied by the cos x. So now you know when to use one of these identities. It's very important. Now, let's go and substitute. We know that we said where there's cos x, we're going to sub in. What are we going to substitute? We're going to substitute 1 minus 2 the sine squared x. We substitute that cos x. We still have plus 15 sine x plus 7. Look at the top part. We only have sine x only. You see? That's good. We only have sine x. Now we need to work on the bottom part. Né? The bottom part, what do we have? Sine 2x. This guy here, the sine 2x, what is that equals to? This is a double angle for what? For sine x. It's equal to 2 sine x the cos x. I hope everyone understands that part. This is equal to 2 sine x the cos x. So where I see that, I can put this to be a 2 the sine of x the cos of x plus the cos x. Let's go and arrange this equation on top, because we need to put the equation on top in the form of a quadratic equation. So what I'm trying to say is that the top part, we need to put it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. We need to arrange that. Né? So if we arrange that, the 1 and the 7, we're going to add those two guys. So it's going to be 1 plus 7, which will give us 8. Then I have minus. So if it's 1 plus 7, those two will give us 8. Né? So I'm going to say I have minus 2 the sine squared x. We have plus 15x. I'm sorry, plus 15 the sine of x. So this is 15 the sine x. We're going to add this to 8. Then Everything is good on the denominator. We still have 2 sine x, the cos x, which is we added the cos x. Everything is good so far. But now, look at the top part. Look at the top part. Can we take out, remember, when we work with a quadratic equation, the most important thing is to make sure that the value of a, this value of a, remember we said this is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So the value of a should be positive. How can we make that -2 positive? How can we make it positive? Can someone please tell me on the comments? Let's see. How can we make that -2 positive? Because we need it to be positive in order for us to factorize this quadratic equation. Tell me, guys, how can we make it the 2 positive? Anyone? Divide by -1 all side. Welcome, Fana. Well, Fana, remember we can't divide because this is not an equation. Ne? We can't divide because this is an equation. But thank you for saying that, ne? So that someone is going to learn something from your comment. Because if it was an equation and it was equated to 0, then we can divide. But when it's like this, thank you, Fana. When it's like this, you know what we're going to do? We need to take out the negative. Take it as a, thank you, Tandy. We need to take it out as a common factor. We need to take the negative out as a common factor. Thank you, factor it out. So we're going to say this is negative. I'm left with 2, the sine squared x, minus 15, the sine of x, minus 8. So you just take it out as a common factor, then you change everything. You change the sign of every term. So you change the sign of every term. Please make sure that you get that right now. The bottom part, we still have the sine x, which is multiplied by the cos of x plus the cos x. So look at this. What we're going to do next is that we're going to say the top part, we can factorize it. This is minus inside the bracket. Remember, I can write this as a quadratic equation. I can say this is the same as, let me show you guys. We can write this as 2x squared minus 15x minus 8. Then we can factorize that. So if you don't know how to factorize this, change it into a quadratic form, then factorize that. So we're going to open 2 brackets this side. Then we know that this will be 2 sine x. This side, I think the brackets are not. Let's fix these brackets. Okay, so we are saying that this will be 2 sine x. We need to close this side. We're going to have the sine x. We need to close that bracket. So we need the factors of 8, right? The factors of 8, if you still remember, is just 8 and 1. Eh? So I'm going to use 8 and 1, and I'm going to explain why I'm using 8 and 1. Look at this. If I put my 8 this side, if I put my 8 this side, I'm going to say 2 multiplied by 8. The answer is 16. Can you see that 16 is close to 15? So 8 and 1 will work. So this tells you that we're going to put 8 the other side, 1 this side. So if 8 and 1 will give us 16, we need to make that 16 to be negative. We need to make the 16 to be negative so that when we add that plus sign x, we're going to get a middle term of minus 15x. I hope this makes sense. Né? I think everyone now understands how to factorize a quadratic. So if you don't know how to do this, you can use a quadratic formula. The answer that you get you substitute back as your factors. What I'm trying to say is that I don't want to go into too much details. Now we are running out of time. So if you don't understand how I did this, I need you to sit down, work on it, factorize that guy. Factorize that guy, then where there's x, put sine x. So now we're going to continue. On the bottom part, I can take out a common factor. So I have sine x. My common factor will be cos x, cos x. Let's take it out as a common factor. The cos of x inside the bracket, I'm left with 2 sine x. We add 1. So this is what we have on the bottom. So from that, things now, we can see that there's something that will cancel. Let's check this thing down, guys. I'm sorry if I'm moving fast. This guy here cancels with that guy. Then what do we have? I'm just going to rewrite everything that we have. Let's put everything that we have on the board. So far we are left with negative inside the bracket, the sine x minus 8, and this is divided by the cos x. Right, so if you check this, we already go in there, we're going to get the left hand side. Let's multiply out the bracket by negative. So this will give me negative the sine x plus 8, divide this by the cos of x. Then you're going to check. If you still remember, look at my right hand side. Right hand side, it's 8 cos x minus the tan of x. How can we get that? Remember, if I have a plus b and this is divided by c, I can write this as a over c plus b over c. That's what I'm going to do. So if we do that, this will be minus the sine x divided by the cos x. Then we have plus 8 over the cos x. You see, we just applied the rule. Now we know that according to the identity, there's a reason why I gave you guys this identity, so that you can remember that sine x over cos x, we can substitute it as the tan. So what I'm trying to say is that this will change into negative the tan of x plus 8 over the cos x. Therefore, my left hand side should be 8 over the cos of x. Let's minus that tan x. These two things are the same. This is the same. I just arranged. Remember, we just put this thing to be the same as our right hand side. Then you can conclude and say, therefore, my left hand side is equal to my right hand side. Are you all happy with that? Let me see on the comments. Do you guys have any questions? If you are happy, please. If you are happy, tell me, so that if there's something that we did and you don't understand, now is the best time. Now is the best time. If there's something we worked on here and you don't understand, now is the best time to ask. But if everyone is happy, please tell me, guys. Okay, thanks. I think we did this thing step by step, né? I think we did this step by step. I see your reactions, guys. Thank you very much. Let's move back. Let's look at what we have here now. They say for which values of x to be an element of minus 180 to 180. Can you please start over? I came late. Don't worry, there's a recording now. There's a recording. I'm going to post the recording on the group. Don't worry, because we are running out of time. don't worry, there's a recording. I don't want you to get stressed when you see where you'll watch the recording from scratch. Now there's a recording and it will be on the YouTube channel. Don't worry. So now they say that for which values of x is this undefined. Remember, when we talk about undefined, now I just want to remind. Let me remind you something. Let me remind you something, guys. I don't understand where we spoke about factorizing. Okay, let's quickly go back up. Remember when we talked about factorizing now? Well, when you factorize, what I'm trying to say, you're going to say the sign x, you can substitute it at x. I'm just going to show you what you need to do. Then I need you to go and work it out. Né? So this thing is 2x squared minus 15x minus 8. So now, the best way to factorize this without having a stress, when you factorize this, if you put this on the quadratic equation, x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Everything divided by 2a. When you put this on the quadratic formula, the value of a, the value of b is minus 15 and the value of c is minus 8. You're going to get your x to be 1 over 2, but it's negative 1 over 2, or you'll get your x to be 8. I think it's easy if you do it like this. Then, what you're going to do, let me explain this. Remember I said you'll get your x to be minus 1 over 2, or you'll get your x to be 8 on the quadratic formula. Né? Okay, so now, when it is on there, when it's like that, you take the 2, you multiply with x, this will give us 2x is equal to minus 1. Then this will be 2x, you take the 1, you bring it this other side to be plus 1, this will be equal to 0. So now, this other side we're going to have x, the 8 goes to the other side to be negative, this is equal to 0. So these are my factors. I open the bracket, I put 2x plus 1, I open the bracket, I put x minus 8. Then I know that where there's x, what do I put? Sine x. So this will be 2 the sine of x plus 1. This will be the sine x minus 8. That's how we factorize. So if you don't understand the method that we did, it's best that you use quadratic formula. Punch quadratic formula, you'll get these numbers, then find your factors. How do we find the factors? 8 moves to the other side to be negative, which is x minus 8. And then, first thing first, remove the fraction. Remember, this is over 1. You cross multiply. So that will be 2x is equal to minus 1. You move the 1 to the other side. I'm sorry, guys. I know that I'm moving fast. So let's see. Welcome, Fana. We prove which help us to get the same thing at the end. Yes, thank you, Mleboring. So now, and Domizotwa, if you don't understand this, please just go through how to factorize a quadratic equation. Né? I really don't like when we waste, like when we spend too much time on the basics. Né? But it's fine. Let's try to answer the next question. So on this question, they say that for which values of x, it's x and element of this is undefined. You know what I'm going to do to answer this problem? Remember that if we say something is undefined, when something is undefined, we're going to let whatever that we have on the denominator, we equate it to 0, then we solve for x. Right. So let's rewrite the given equation. If you still remember, the given equation is the cos 2x plus 15, the sine x plus 7, and this is everything over. It was over the sine 2x plus the cos x. Remember, it was an identity, which is 8 over the tan x minus, 8 over the cos x minus tan x. I remember now. So this is 8 over the cos x. We minus the tan of x. Ne? Shosho Ntombizoto, I see you saying you get it now. Ne? Guys, in order for us to define, to show that this thing, where is this thing undefined, we need to take our denominators, equate it to 0. So what I'm trying to say is that what is your denominator on the first fraction is the sine 2x plus your cos x. We need to equate this guy to 0, or we can choose to work on the other side. But now look at this tan. You see this tan, we know that tan is sine x over the cos x. That's the mistake that we can't afford to make. So what I'm trying to say is that instead of writing tan, let's change that tan as sine x. Let's substitute this as the sine of x over the cos x, so that you can see that it's either we're going to say this is equal to 0, or the cos x is equal to 0, or that other cos x is equal to 0, which is the same thing. Ne? So from this, we need to solve for x. We need to solve for x. First thing first, equate your denominators to 0, then solve for x. I'm going to work on that now. Remember this sine 2x. I can write it as the sine x, the cos x. So this is 2 sine x cos x plus the cos x, which is equal to 0. I have my cos x as a common factor. I'm going to take it out. Inside the bracket, I'm left with 2 sine x plus 1, which is equal to 0. When we solve for x, remember we can use the zero product property. We can take the first cos x, equate it to 0, or we can take what? The 2 sine x plus 1, equate it to 0. You see, now we have cos x, cos x, cos x. No need for you to solve all of this 3 cos x, because we just have to focus only on 1 cos x. So if cos x is equal to 0, we know that this cos is positive. Where is cos positive? It's positive in first quadrant and quadrant 4. We need to find the reference angle. So we need to find our RA, the reference angle. So how do you find the reference angle? So our RA is equal to the cos inverse of that 0. So that your reference angle is 90 degrees. I'm going to explain now why do we need the reference angle. I'll explain why do we need the reference angle. Let's work on the other side. Let's solve the other side. So the other side, when we solve this, will be 2 sine x plus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, I'm going to have 2 the sine x, which is minus 1, divide both sides by 2. Therefore, what is the sine x equals to? Minus 1 over 2. So we need to determine the triangle that we're going to work with. Where is sine negative? It's negative in quadrant 3 and 4. Those are the quadrants that we're going to work on. Therefore, what's next? We need the reference angle. We need to find RA this side. So we need to find our reference angle, which will be the sine of inverse. Please just use 1 over 2. Don't include the negative now. Remember, the negative tells us which quadrant we need to work on. And if you find this, what will be your reference angle? 30 degrees. Guys, there's too much work that we need to do. This is 6 marks. Né? There's too much work that we need to do. So look at this. Oh, somebody's asking, is this high school level? Guys, what are you doing at school? Is this high school level? Yes, this is high school. Don't worry. After this lesson, we'll post the same question from a past paper. This is high school, guys. Trigonometry is not easy. I know, but it's fun. Like, there's too much, like, yeah, I can say it's fun. Trust me, this is high school. And if you master this, you are good to go. You'll collect marks. Why are we focusing on this? This has a lot of marks on paper too. This is high school level, guys. What are you guys doing at school? Okay, it's fine. So now what I'm going to do, I have my reference angle now. I have my reference angle. So I'm just going to rewrite and say that for this one, we need to say x is equals to, remember we start with this one where x is in quadrant 1. If it is in quadrant 1, we just, if it's in quadrant 1, okay, so if this is in quadrant 1, x will be just your RA. We add what? We're going to say RA plus, remember, what is this? This is cos. So it's like we are doing a general solution. So now let's go back to the question. When they say undefined, let what? They are asking you to find general solution, but they don't want to give you the word general solution. You understand? They just want to go in circles and see if you know the concept of undefined. So instead of saying find the general solution, this is like general solution, but you need to take your denominators, equate them to 0. So now what we're going to do is that if it's in quadrant 1, it's reference times, since it's cos, we're going to add 360 degrees times n, where n is an element of real numbers. Therefore, so what is x equals to? Our reference angle, it was 90. We add 360 times n, where n is an element of real numbers. Then we need to work with or quadrant 4. What is going on in quadrant 4? Theta 360 minus reference angle, or x will be equal to 360 degrees. We minus our reference angle. So we're going to minus our RA, then we add 360 times n. So if we work this thing out, x is equal to 360 degrees minus 90 plus 360 degrees times n. What is our answer? Therefore, x is equal to 270 degrees plus 360 times n. That's the answer for this cos x is equals to 0. We need to do the same for what? We need to do the same for the reference angle of 30. So if we do the same for the reference angle of 30, remember our RA was what? Our RA was 330 degrees now. So we work with quadrant 3, which is x is equals to, in quadrant 3, this is 180. We add reference angle, then we're going to add 360 times n. What is x equals to? 180 plus RA. You see? You just have to substitute. Guys, I'm sorry, this is how I teach. Like, I'm fast when I teach. That's why I say when you attend my session, it's best if you know the basics. Now, 180 plus 30, that gives us 210 plus 360 degrees times n. So that was for quadrant 3. We need to work on quadrant 4. So in quadrant 4, remember, or this will be x is equals to 360 degrees minus your RA plus 360 times n. That's why you need to have a tutor. Things that they don't show you at school are the things that you need to get information from your tutor. So this is 360 minus your RA, 360 minus 30 degrees plus 360 times n. Therefore, what is x? So x will be 330 degrees plus 360 times n. So now, when you have this reference angle now, when you have the reference angle, you need to go back. Remember, we were given a boundary on the question. We were given a boundary. They said that when they give you this type of a boundary, I'll show you what you need to do. If you have a general solution and you are given the interval, this is what you need to do. First thing first, you're going to test all the values. Remember, this is our general solution now. Let's start with that general solution. We're going to start with n. We need to substitute the value of n. We need to find the value of n that will give us that boundary. So I'm going to say, remember we said x must be an element of minus 180 and 180 degrees. So let's check. If n is equals to 1, we're going to substitute 1 on this n. Where there's n, we put 1. So this will be 90 plus 360. Look at the answer that you get. The answer that you get, it will be 90 plus your 360. This gives us 450. So 1 won't work. So if n must not be equals to 1, because 450 is not in that given boundary, then we no longer check 2. Don't check 2, you need to check for minus 1. So if you say where there's n, you put minus 1, this will be 90. We add 360 that we need to multiply by minus 1. We get an answer of negative 270. So negative 270 won't work. So this one won't work, this one won't work. We need to check minus 2. So where there's n, I need to put minus 2. And we need to find, you see, when I get minus 2, I get negative 680. So this one, it won't give us the answer that we are looking for. We're going to leave it like that. We move to the next one. We do the same. Where there's n, we put 1, we find the answer. So if you put 1 here, you can see that this will be 270 plus 360, won't work. Now, what about if we put minus 1? So this will be 270. We add 360. Guys, isn't it reference angle plus k? Yes, it's the same thing, né? Even if you write it as k, it's the same thing. So this will be 270. We add 360 into minus 1. We get an answer of 90. So what I'm trying to say is that in this equation, x is equals to 270 plus 360. Where there's n, we put minus 1, gives us what? X is equals to negative 90 degrees. X is equals to negative 90 degrees. So this is in the boundary. We're going to take that. Then we check for minus 2 again. Where there's n, we need to put minus 2. So when you put minus 2, it doesn't work. Then with this one, we are done. So this is the first answer that we got. That is between that boundary. We need to do the same thing on these guys here. You see? This work. So now, where there's n is 210 plus 3n. So I'm just going to do the same and say this is x is equal to 210 plus 360. Where there's n, I need to put 1. It won't work. X is equal to 210 degrees plus 360. I put minus 1. Let me see what I get. When I say 210 plus 360, which is multiplied by minus 1, close the bracket. This gives us minus 150. X is minus 150. So that will work. So x is minus 150. This will work. So we're going to put it down here. This is our second value of x. So x must also be equals to negative 150. Yes, thank you. We can also substitute 0. We can also substitute 0. I forgot about the 0. I forgot. We can also, can we substitute 0? It's fine. I'll confirm, then send it on the group if we can substitute 0. I think we can substitute 0 now. Then we need to check for, yes, we can substitute 0 because we are substituting integers. So now, this one, it will work. Then we need to use x is equals to, you do the same, even for this one, you need to do the same until you get the numbers that are in that given interval. So the final answer should be 90 degrees minus 90 degrees minus 30 degrees minus 150. So this tells you that when you substitute on this equation, you're going to get 90 and 30. 90 and minus 30. And that's it for this problem. I'm sorry guys, but you just have to, I really have to move fast. I'm sorry about this, né? I'm sorry about this, guys. Just work on it. Try to see if you get the same answers, né? Because now I'm moving fast and someone is going to be more confused, né? Work on it. Substitute your numbers. Let's see if you get those ones. I just want us to work on the next one. I'll post this on the group, né? I'll definitely put it on the group. So let's work on the last identity. Let's prove this. Prove the identity. So let's prove that. Let's say they give us something like this, né? The root of 1 minus the cos squared x, everything divided by the cos of minus x multiplied by the cos of 90 degrees plus x, 90 degrees plus x. Let's work on this. Let's prove that this is equal to -2. So already we know which one is the most complicated side. We already know that, né? So what I'm going to do, I need to work on my left hand side. I need to work on my left hand side, you know. So I know that this is my left hand side. This is my left hand side. So I need to prove that left hand side is equal to right hand side. And you know what I'm going to do? To prove this problem, first thing first, let's work the top part, né? I know that 1 minus cos squared x, using the identity, if you still remember, the identity says that sine squared x plus the cos squared x is equals to 1. That's why I gave you this identity when we started the session, because I know that we're going to use that identity. So now, on that identity, I'm going to say that this will be, we know that the sine squared x is equals 1 minus the cos squared x. So I can substitute what I have inside the bracket, the square root, to be the sine squared x. I think everyone understands that part. That was easy. Then what do we have this side? We have the negative angle, and this is in quadrant 4. So this is the same as positive, the cos of x, which is multiplied by cos 90 plus x. This is a co-function. And where is the 90 plus x? If I draw a diagram like this, this is my 90. So when we add, we go this direction. So it is in quadrant 2. How is cos in quadrant 2? It's negative. So this will change into negative the sine of x. Because it's a co-function, cos changes to sine. But you check, how is that cos in quadrant 2? It is negative. So this will change into negative sine x. So we don't have more space, guys. I'm just going to continue going this side and solve this. So this will be equals to the top part. Okay. Hey, sorry, welcome. Guys, I made a mistake, né? I made a mistake. I'm just going to fix the mistake here. On the question, this is not x, it's 2x. This is 2x. This is 2x. So this will be sine squared 2x, né? So what I'm trying to say is that this was the cos squared of 2x. The angle is 2x. So the top part, let's try and say the top part, if we work on this, is the same as the sine 2x. Why? Because where can I show you guys this? Listen, if I have the sine squared 2x, I can write this as the sine 2x. Now everything squared. Remember, this is square root, so the square root cancel. This is just what? The sine 2x. I hope this makes sense, né? Yes, Ntokozo. I can add you on the group now. Just test the number or go to our Facebook page. Use the link on our Facebook page to log into the group. So what I'm going to do is that I have this. What's next? I can say that, this is equal to sine x, which makes sense. You understand why. So the top part, I'm just going to write it as sine 2x. What about the bottom part? So on bottom, I have this as negative the cos x times the sine x. And we know that the bottom part, what we have on top, can be 2 sine x cos x using the identity. And this is divided by what? Negative, I'm just going to write this as sine x times cos x, so that this cos x can cancel, the sine x can cancel. What is the answer? Negative 2. Guys, this was easy, né? It's fine. Let us redo the question. Let us repeat this, né? So that we can be on the same page, né? We were given the root of, let's do this. Let's repeat the problem. We were given the root of 1 minus the cos squared 2x. And this is divided by the cos into the bracket minus x times the sine. Oh, it was minus this is what we were given. They said that we should prove that this is equal to negative 2. So remember the top part. We can change that into the sine squared 2x. And we still have the square root. The bottom part, remember this is my left hand side. The bottom part we said the cos of a negative angle, cos is positive because this is in quadrant 4. Multiplied by the cos of 90 plus x. What is that equals to? This is in quadrant 2. How is cos in quadrant 2? Negative. So cos changes into sine. This will be negative the sine x. So what's next? So I know that the sine squared 2x, I can write it as the sine 2x and bring the squared outside. So we can see that if we write this in this form, this will be the sine 2x everything squared. Everything divided by negative sine x times cos x. So the top part, these two cancels, we are left with sine 2x over negative sine x cos x. Then what's next? On top, I can change the sine 2x into what? 2 sine x cos x. The bottom part I still have negative sine x, the cos of x. Look at this. These two cancel and the answer is negative 2. So you can see that. Therefore, your left hand side is equals to right hand side. I'm sorry guys, what is your Facebook page? And because of the Facebook page is Spark Genius Academy. If you can check on YouTube, there's also a page. But let me quickly write the number down here. The number that you can test to be added on the group now. The number that you need to test is 062 617 5908. If you can test this number, you'll be added on the group now. I want us to use this 5 minutes to ask questions. Né? To ask questions, let's go through the comments. I want us to use the 5 minutes to ask questions, guys. If you have any questions based on what we did, please make sure that you ask questions. Né? Let's ask questions. Okay, so now while I'm waiting for your questions on the comments, guys, there's something important that I want to tell you. Remember today in the morning we were live on TikTok. Né? We did drawing trigonometry while you are drawing a sketch. Né? So I'm going to post all those lessons here on YouTube so that you guys can go through the lessons. I'll post also the notes on the group. So you go through the notes, then you'll go through the video, then that's when I can give you an assignment. And I know that we still have that assignment, the analytical geometry assignment that we need to mark. For those who completed that assignment, don't worry, I still remember, guys, we'll mark the assignment. But now, do you guys have any question based on what we've covered today? Could you please share the notes regarding identities? Okay, I will definitely share the notes. Don't worry. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for joining the live. How to remove square roots in a trigonometry? A square root, when you say how to remove a square root, for example, let's say that, remember what I just showed you is that if I have the cos squared x, I can write this, let's say this is square root cos x. I can write this as the cos of x, everything squared, then this is square root. We know that the square root cancels, so this is just the cos x. I'm not sure if this is what you are asking. How to remove a square root in a trigonometry. Can you please explain the first question again? I have to move to another lesson. I only have 2 minutes to move to another lesson. You know what you need to do? I need to move to another lesson. I only have 2 minutes. Né? Listen, after this problem, after this live, the recording will be available on YouTube. So what you need to do, go through the recording, then if there's something you don't understand, that's when you can test me privately. Then when you test me, just do a screenshot on the video, then ask me like, how did you get something like this? Then I'll try and explain that. So the best thing that you can do, go and rewatch the lesson again. Now I'm lost, but I'll watch the video several times until I get it. Yes, it's fine. If you don't understand, I'll try to do another video where maybe I'll try to move slow, because most of the time, one thing about the issue that I have, guys, is the slogan that I'm currently using. No stories, just marks. We don't waste time on basics. So these things make me to move fast when I teach. I move fast because I just expect everyone to know the basics. So when you come to my channel, no stories, just marks, and it says, we say no stories, just marks. We don't waste time on the basics. So I advise everyone to understand the basics before they watch the video, but I'll try to move slow. I'll try to move slow. Thank you guys for attending. I need to move to another lesson. If you have other questions, please make sure that you move those questions to you can test me privately. I'm here to assist you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.